Hi, welcome to episode 4 of the Mail Time podcast. Joining me today is Israeli war hero and Nova Festival survivor, Daniel Sharabi. Um, Sharabi, what's up, dude? How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Daniel? Miss you,
I'm,
brother.
I miss you too. Wait, where in the world are you right now?
Right now in New York.
In New York. Okay, so this is how many trips to New York have you made since October 7th?
Three.
Okay, so at the start of that's crazy. Um, I it's funny on the post October 7th world, you and your brother Neria are definitely some of the most famous survivors, and you guys have really worked hard to go and spread the message, which I hope people can learn about today. I would be remiss if we didn't first mention your dear friend Yosef Chaim Ochana, who is still in captivity for
Yes.
over a year now. And you went to the party with him.
Yeah. We got together. We ate actually dinner, a holiday dinner before we left. And he's hostage for a year, here in a few days. It's crazy.
Who else did you attend the festival with?
We arrive. Actually, I supposed to fly 3 days after to United States to start to work. So it was a goodbye party for me to a lot of friends. So I invite a lot of friends, family. We was around five cousins over there and 40, 45 people in the camping, all our friends, with a lot of people. And most of them survived, but three of them was was murdered on October 7th, were murdered on October 7th, and one of them is a hostage. Look about the statistic, it's crazy statistic. 40 people, three people die, and one got kidnapped, and the rest survive, but survive with the soul, with the body, not with the soul.
And I know that's something that you and your brother are working to fix and to try to help as many survivors as possible. You started for the survivors and the wounded. Is that correct?
Yes, yes,
And
correct.
what's the and well, I want to get to that after, but if, for those who haven't yet had the privilege of hearing from you and Neria, do you mind explaining, well, first, where you guys came from, a little bit of your background? Were you in the army at the time of Nova? Were you done with the army? And then what happened
Okay,
on that day?
so let's start a little bit back. I'm 24 years old. I was a combat medic in Givati, and my brother was in Kfir. And both of us served in the army, or both of us was a combat. I was a combat medic. And I traveled around the world before, after the army, and just back to Israel. And I'm planning to go back to the state. And then the Nova happened, and the Nova we lost a lot of friends, a few people very close to
Now,
me.
were you, sorry to interrupt, but were you guys into trance music? Were you party goers a lot that went to these kinds of festivals? How did, I know you said it was a going away party, but for some of us, when we heard about this festival originally, I'm not in that circle, so I don't know anything about that culture. Is that something that you were a part of before, or you just really were randomly there?
Actually, Yosef is a filmmaker, so he film a lot in this kind of festivals. And sometimes I just joined to him. And I was in big festival in Brazil when I travel around the world after the army. So I met this festival that do collaboration with the Nova. So for me, it was like closing circle with all the friends that was in South America, in Brazil, the Israeli friends. So I think in the Nova was maybe 200 of people that was in Brazil and also come to this festival, specifically this festival. It was unique, it was different, it was very big, 4,500 people. It's a lot to Israel, for Israel.
So, was Joseph with you in Brazil? Was he with you, or he was or you just
No,
happened to
no,
stumble upon that while he was there,
no.
while you were there?
I didn't was with him in Brazil, but I show him some videos and he loves that. And he say, "Yalla, let's go."
Wow. Okay. So you went, and correct me if I'm wrong. You had a friend Karen who was with you in Brazil,
No,
and she also,
Karim, yeah,
Yeah,
Karim.
Corinne. I apologize. And can you tell me a little bit about her and your friendship with her?
So me and Karim traveled together in Brazil a little bit after that, for months and a half, and we become very good friends with their cousin Neta. And when we arrived back to Israel, we become very good friends for the full last year. And she arrived to the party with a broke leg, and she couldn't she
So
couldn't come on.
her leg was already broken before. It
Yes,
didn't happen there. Okay.
yeah.
And so when you guys showed up, what time did you show up at the festival?
Around 2 o'clock.
Okay, and I hope I don't get you in trouble here, but there's a theme where people are drinking heavily and using drugs, and is that what your party was doing? Were you aware when everything started to happen at 6:29 about what was going on, or you were in a different state of mind?
No, it's important to people to know actually that people was on drugs, people was high from alcohol, from weed, or from other drugs, strong drugs that young people do in this kind of festivals. Also, not young people, everyone basically coming to these festivals, they doing drugs. I I did I did a drug that called ketamine. It's very easy. I did a little bit, and I drink some alcohol. But when everything started, the adrenaline is the most powerful drug that I ever met.
So what? So when you say everything started, so um, for those who don't know, the rocket started flying at 6:29. When did you realize that something was seriously wrong?
6 minute music stop. I was in Gaza. I was in Gaza 3 years ago. I served in the army in the same board in the same place. I was watching on the board for half year. I know this area. I know when they shoot a lot of rockets. It's called papal rain. It's called גשם סגול בעברית. That they shoot in a lot and you don't have time to run to the shelter. So you have to run fast that you can, and that's it. Hide for 10, 15 minutes. When they did it, I was okay with it. What really made me understand when I arrived to the manager of the security, I hear on the radio someone get shot. And when I hear someone get shot, I know that it's not Judea and Samaria. When people shoot everywhere and some terrorists arrive and go, they kill them. It's the border in Gaza. If someone cross the border, so it's mean cross with a lot of people because you cannot cross alone. You're probably gonna die in the first second that you're going to come closer. So I understand something big happened, and I start to act. And the adrenaline give us some power that we didn't know about. Start to run to help to the wounded. We arrived to a wounded girl. Her name is Barzor. She was shot. She is from the people that succeeds to run out, but she was the last cars that the terrorists found. The first, actually, the terrorists that met with the terrorists, and the terrorists shoot on them. She was shot, 3 bullets, and she returned back to the festival, to the area of the festival, to trying to go to the other way. Anyway, she was outside of her car, and we start to take off her, do tourniquet, whatever we know, vacate her inside, and
Around what time did that happen?
around 7 o'clock.
And by about 7 o'clock, you're evacuating her and helping there. So what was the next move? When did you realize? What was your thought in terms of making a game plan to try to evacuate the area? Did you think it was a single gunman? Did you think there was act? When did you realize that there were hundreds or thousands of terrorists that had crossed over the border?
I didn't believe. In this morning, if you're gonna tell me there are 100, I didn't believe. I didn't was believing you because it's very difficult to understand that. It's too big. Now I can't understand it. I can. I still can. But over there, I returned back to the road to bring more people, to bring more wounded, with 6 people, me, Yosef, Neria, and Shalev, my cousin, and 2 other people, Itai and Ben. And 2 minutes after we arrived to the road, we saw big pickup of terrorists that coming on us, around 30, maybe 40 terrorists, start to shoot on us, and I understand that it's really bad. And we start to run back. And Ita and Ben decide to stay over there with the police and to take the weapons when they die. And they
So
die
you
over.
wait a second. You were assuming that the police officers were going to get killed because of the situation. So at that point, you already figured that the IDF would not show up.
I tried to call to anyone on my unit, everyone that I know from the army, but no one answered. And we start to jump around to figure out how we're going out. We jump from a cover to a cover, and after a few cars, we attacked by RPG. The RPG blew on us, and everyone flew on the floor to different places. And me and Nerea start to go in forward. Yosef go to the left side, and he get kidnapped 10 minutes after. And Shalem Mecca is going inside of the party, and we start to running on the road, jump from a car to a car. And then we saw the tank. We saw an Israeli tank that arrived from the border in mistake, that start to drive all over the cars like crazy, driving on them, and it's something that you can't believe. And then we understand that, okay,
Had you
killed
ever
them.
seen a tank drive over a car before?
No, 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 no. Only in Fast and Furious.
Okay, so this is like a wild scene.
It's
All of a
wild.
sudden,
It's
it's like
wild. This,
monster trucks of a tank driving over cars.
tank is 80, 80 tons. You know what happened when you drive it next to you? You all the floor shaking. It's crazy. And then we saw him. We understand that he ran away, but we saw him go to the field, and we understand that we fucked because if the army ran away, so we're gonna die.
So only one soldier ran away. What happened
After,
with the other three?
Afterwards, we understand that it was only one soldier that fight with all of them alone. So you have to run away because they're hunting them, around 50 terrorists trying to kill him.
What happened to usually in a tank there's four soldiers. So what happened to the other three soldiers?
They attack on on the border. The commander flew and died. He got kidnapped to Gaza, his body, and two others was injured inside really bad. The driver, he have a small spot that he is alone. So even if something hit the tank, nothing happened to him. So, and both of them after that in the battle between the cops to the terrorists, both of them die.
Well, I it's unbelievable, and you coming from a background being on the border. Did you ever prepare for anything like that when you were in Givati? Did you even have
No, no, no,
any
no. We,
training
we,
that there would be
we
a
prepare.
thousand?
We, no, no, not 4,000. No way. We prepare for maybe 50, 100 that coming from the tunnels, not coming from above with trucks with full of weapons and guns. They carry weapons and ammunition for 3, 5 days of war. It was crazy.
And you had never prepared for that. You were just in the army. You just gotten out.
I don't.
So,
I don't think the army prepare for something like that.
well, that much is clear. We met because we were Unit 11741 and helping soldiers with equipment, and the lack of readiness is astonishing. And the idea that you, as a Nova survivor and someone who's trying to help people regain their lives, would have to also worry about getting their friends' equipment and reaching out and putting them in touch with me and other people is wild.
It's wild.
I can't understand it. But so you take this tank, and then what happens?
We He ran away, and then we finished the road, and then we saw the tank on the right side. We understand that we're not going to run away anymore. We're gonna fight back. So we jump inside the tank, we take some weapons, and start to fight back, and to return fire and kill the terrorists that arrived to us. A lot of people start to getting around 20 people, 30 people, and then we attack by RPG. The RPG hit all of us. I still have shrapnels in my hand. If you see this, scars. They're all from shrapnels. Still a few inside, and everyone got injured. I was the only medic, and we fight for 6 7 hours with my commander on the phone and give me orders what to do, how to do. By the way, my commander is here in New York right now.
And how can you just mention a little about your interaction with your commander for those who don't know your story fully? What was you call him and can you just run through? Obviously, I know that story. I've spent a lot of time with you, but for those who don't know, what was the situation like?
My commander was with me on the phone, and we start to fight like Sharabi team with another guy and another commander in the army, and kill terrorists that arrive to us. They hitting us. We get really injured, and then we get orders what to do, how to do. I was the medic over there, and then my brother take the left side of the tank and kill the terrorists that arrive to us from the left, and the another guy with the machine gun was from the right and fight from there.
And you're on the phone with your commander
We
at all times, so you know
what
what's
to do,
going on.
how to act, what's going on, where is the support, where is the army.
And by the way, as we're on the phone here, someone just or talking, someone just sent me this message. It came out from the Jerusalem Post saying that there's a classified document obtained by the Jerusalem Post revealed the extent of the demand for military equipment, and the military was just not telling the truth. So this is breaking in real time here as we're having this discussion. Um, it's unbelievable. And when did you first see the army show up at Nova? That's the question a lot of people have because, and this is not to say that the soldiers on the ground are lions. They're unbelievable. They are fighting tooth and nail, but the lack of preparedness and the just lack of a plan and general understanding of what was going on. Because you mentioned the cops were next to you, but when did you first see a soldier who actually showed up where you were, other than the tank driver?
Reserve or regular soldier?
When did you see a soldier in uniform show up after the tank driver?
A lot of reserve arrive with uniform, just for you to know.
Okay, so but the reservists, but they weren't. Were they told by the army to show up, or they just showed up?
Both.
Okay, so when did you first see those guys showing up?
I think real soldier we saw around 1 o'clock, 1.5, but soldiers
So
from everywhere.
you're basically saying
No, no, but it's not was organized. It was few commander that joined to another special unit of one of them, and that's it. After
right.
that,
But you're saying it's 6 to 6.5 hours that you guys fought with the weapons of soldiers who had been murdered, defending your friends, your family, cousins, and the army is nowhere.
no. All the army that was on the board gets slapped
Right.
in the morning. In the first few hours, in the first 2 hours, maybe 1 hour after the attack, all the army was shut down. They arrived to all the bases at the same time, and I saw a bunch of soldiers, like a lot of soldiers, only around 3, 4.
And looking back at that, how does that make you feel? Because obviously you were a soldier and this is your army and these are your guys. And I don't think that anybody, that you and I would speak to would say that everyone wanted to be there. Nobody would say that they didn't want to be there. But I think that the command and control and the leadership of the army was absent. So looking back at it, how does it make you feel when you consider that you were
I
fending
have
for
to
yourself?
I have answer from God that if God not saving the city, no one can save the city. But realistic, something that connect to the reality of the army, how we act, how we moving. The army failed. Big, 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 big fail that they're going to remember it for years till the end of our lives. The army
And
failed,
I
and more than that, the big commanders failed. It's not about the soldiers in the end. It's about the
Have you
big
had
ones.
have you had discussions with those big commanders? Were they apologetic? Did they say they were sorry to you, or is it? Have you had any
No,
conversations with them?
no, no, no. I had only conversation. I'm speaking to a lot of soldiers. So I spoke to people that are going to be big commanders. They preparing, and I told them one thing. Listen, I have one feeling that I cannot acknowledge from this day. The most terrible feeling is to see commander they don't know how to command. To be commander. It's mean to run in the first. You have 1,000 soldiers and you are in the first one. You're not David Melech, man. You should be behind and controlling the situation. No one take control on October 7 on the south. No one take control and say this unit going there.
Let
This
me
unit
wait
going
a sec. Let me cut
there.
you off though. You took control of the situation with the tank. You and Nariat took control, and that's something that maybe you should consider going back and leading because you're a leader of people. You saved so many lives that day by taking control of the situation, and you didn't wait for anybody to show up. So I want to make sure that you acknowledge that to yourself.
Actually, I have some news that you don't know. I'm going to study next year in Reichman, like IDC.
Really?
I'm going to study politician leadership. Yeah, it's a nice
Wow. Okay.
program.
Sharabi, the member of Knesset. Whoa. So tell me. So what do you? So I don't want. Fast forwarding. You are rescued after all these hours. Um, I love the story of Neria in the police station where tries to smoke weed, and the police officer tries to tell him no, and he says, where were you guys for the last couple hours? I'm smoking this. That's an all timer. But as we push forward the next weeks and months, and we can really unpack this for days, but what inspired you to start the organization, and what are you guys doing now?
So we was in LA, and it was four. It was me and Ria and two cousins. We have one each other. We handle with one each other together. It was sometimes nice, sometimes it's bad because everyone was screaming and fighting, and the trauma was so strong. And a month after the Nova, someone committed suicide, and we didn't know about that. But someone asked for help, and my cousin called them, and he told them on the phone, "Listen, I'm not feeling good, and I'm trying to do something to myself right now." And the guy was with the package of Percocet, trying to suicide in the bathroom. And this is back to the party doing drugs. He did Molly, and he did after that one more time, and he feel that he can't hold it. And we decided that we have to do something again, not wait to anyone to go into help because nobody can help. And this time also the government did give us nothing. No one can understand what's really going on, and we just start to ask for help. In the beginning, we ask for therapist, and then we ask for money to sponsor the therapist because no one volunteering anymore. And then it's become more than therapy. It's become to guide him to recover, full recover, like back to job and full cover of treatment that called EMDR. It's eyes movement sensitive processing. It's something very, very, very strong for the eyes. Through in the eyes, help you to process situation. Basically, trauma, it's too fast, too much to process. This is all about trauma, and it's helped to process it. And next, after that, we start to do something not only for private people because not everyone going to treatment. We have to get the people together. So we did two retreat for 700 survivors in the south, in Khan Gamalia and Far Nokdim. 3 days of journey, of healing, of therapist. In the end, we did big party that called We Will Dance Again. And half year after, you actually saw 700 that was hunting 7 months ago. Some of them didn't leave their house. After 3 days of journey, part of them dance again. It was unbelievable. People was
What's
crying.
that? What's that like to see, and also know that you helped create that experience?
Actually, my friend is a hostage, and I'm feeling empty when I'm sitting and doing nothing. It's make your heart full again. You know what is kintsugi?
No, tell me.
Kintsugi is it's a coach in Japan that if they broke the plate, they take the plate and from few part of plate they gluing that together again with gold. And someone saw what we doing and say, and she told me, you like a kintsugi. You die, you broke to thousands of pieces, but you sticking it together with gold, with something beautiful, with something pure. It
And
was
you
nice.
mentioned gold. You mentioned gold. How do people help you? Obviously, you're doing it with joy, and everyone who comes across you and hears your story and their story loves you guys immediately. But how do people help? What do you need help with now?
So after a full year that we take care of thousands of people, we're not only helping to a Nova Survivor. The Nova Survivor is the main of that we help, but we have a lot of people from the kibbutzim. Basically, we help to people that was in the attack on October 7th. A lot, thousands of people. My cousin died in Be'eri and left after him a widow and 2 years old kid. So our family connect to the people that was affected by October 7 and victim of terror, basically. So after a year, full year that we doing horse therapy, treatment, retreat, a lot of back to work. We did Tony Robbins seminar. We're gonna go again and in Palm Beach next in December. So we working on
What
a
did what
house
did
on rehab.
what did Tony Robbins have to say to you about that quickly? He
Wow, we met him personally and he do interrogation with Neta. So it's huge explanation. 64 country, people from 64 countries that was in the audium, 20,000 people. All of them hear about the story of Neta. Neta survived with us in the tank. She's a very good friend of mine. She's the cousin of Karin. And they heard how she was hunting, how her cousin was born alive. It was amazing. And Tony told us that one thing from the worst situation in your life, you can go to the highest level part of your life. And it's guide with us. It's working with us every day. And like we say, like in Chugi, you change it to something pure and beautiful. And now we're working on a rehab house. Now
where's the house going to be?
the house gonna be near to Petah Tikva, in Magshimim, small village, very quiet, huge property, huge garden, and huge house with 10 rooms of treatment, big room for yoga, big room for group therapy. It's gonna be beautiful. The house starting on November 1st, Bezrat Hashem. So we here now in New York to raise the money for that. This is how we raise the money for the activities. We're going all around the world, speaking, bring awareness to October 7, and ask for help. And
And how much
we
help do you
need,
guys need? How much money are you raising?
we need to raise 1,000. Right now we have around 80,000, 85. So we still need 100 more. It's a lot, but not a lot. But we're gonna need it in the next week, in the next week. So God be
Hashem
blessing
should
me
give you
is
a
gonna
lot
help
of
me.
Hashem should give you a lot of strength, and you should continue to spread the word and get it out there. And if you send me the link, I have the link, and I'll include it in the show notes so people can see how they can contribute and help bring more comfort to these survivors and to try to help rebuild lives. Um, Sharabi, We could talk for hours and hours and hours about this whole thing. Before we close, what's your general analysis of where survivors are a year later? Obviously, they're still hostages, and people can't really fully move on until the hostages are home, and there's a war going on many fronts. But where would you say mentally the survivors are holding right now?
So I have I have answer for that, but I also have something that included it. So basically, the situation with the survivor is the same. It's 1 year that passed like one day. It's big month of October. This is how it's feel, and nothing changed. 70% of the people didn't return to work again, didn't start their life, the routine of the normal life, and it's hard sometimes. It's hard. Some people succeed to continue to go forward, but a lot of people didn't. And I'm not talking about only Nova Survivor. I'm talking about the people that was in the kibbutzim that the war destroyed in one day. And I have something to share with all of you. It's important you to know. You think now it's October 8th, 9, 10, past year, and that's it. It's over. No, it's not over. Every day one soldier die because he fight in the north, another one die in the Gaza, still in Gaza. It's not over. Every day, it's still continue. The war didn't end, and I think right now we are in the big part of the war. It's the If the war was here till now the war is here. We are in the high point of this war because now we are in both of the side, also inside Lebanon, also inside Gaza. We still have 101 hostage. And now we fight with Iran and with the Houthis in Teman. It's crazy. We need your support every day. We didn't stop for a second. We still suffering. People in Israel still fighting, still sacrificing their blood. So you should help with everything that you can. If it's money, so give money. If it's a therapist, so send therapists. If it's like Daniel to bring helmets to soldiers that fight for us, for you, for all of us, that you can sit. I say all the time, Israel and outside of Israel, it's relationship. You live over there, you live nice, you live beauty, you have everything, but we live in Israel and sacrifice our life, our souls. Thousands of people dying this year, and thousands die inside from the soul. Thousands of widows, thousands of people that lost their parents. Everyone sacrifice for all of us. So you should sacrifice something.
I'm into that.
Everyone.
You couldn't have said it any better. And I think that it's incumbent upon world Jewry to realize that um, this war very well could go on for multiple years, and there's no bringing back husbands, wives, children, members of the family that were murdered. And it's the responsibility of everyone else to pick up our brothers and sisters and to make sure we're really truly there for them. And it's not enough just to write a check and forget about it and say, well, I already gave so much money this war, I already helped. It's an ongoing struggle, and it's something that we have to collectively help with for as long as necessary. So um, eh,
Till
I'm
you
into what
have,
you
you have
said.
to give. I think that's it. Because people
Absolutely.
in Israel, I saw, it spoke my heart. Day before October 7, I saw a video of the widow that bury his boy, her boy, her son. You saw it, Itach Ettinger?
No, tell me.
It's a woman that lost her husband in terror attack on the Judean Samaritan because her husband jumped to fight and save people, and he died over there. And then his son joined to the army, to special unit, and he fight for our country for 1 year, and then he died in Lebanon. And the mom, without husband, and without kid now. If you think you sacrifice more,
Right, right. Yeah.
you can stop. If you didn't sacrifice more from this woman, you can't stop. And Daniel,
I
you can
think
stop to do what you're doing.
no, we're not
Feeling
stopping until this is I listen, I hope that one day the role of Unit 11741 will be less necessary in terms of donations, and I hope that the army and the government of Israel can do their job and provide soldiers with proper equipment without needing donations. And I hope that Unit 11741 could turn our efforts and help people like yourself and others rebuild lives and help with very essential things. And it's hopefully good people just continue to meet each other. If there's any silver lining from everything that happened the last year, there's so many amazing people that have met each other. I never would have met you if it wasn't for this. So that's my one hope, that we can at least have some sort of silver lining in it, that there are good people that have met and come together, and hopefully we can all be able to divert resources that are absolutely necessary very soon. So, Sharabi, I love you, man. Gemar Chatima Tova. Have an easy fast,
shit.
and you'll have to come back. We can keep talking because you and I could talk for hours. So, be safe,
We will.
and I know you're going to raise this money. God willing. Okay.